next slow heartbeat. I don't play safe, I don't play clean. You say why you do it like that. I just smile, lean back. I don't follow maps, I don't follow trends. I just lose myself in the chaos again. Kiss my bill before it breaks. Watch it fall for beauty's sake. Summertime but I feel the cold. On the ladder all alone. Say my name when the screen goes black. No GG, I won't come back. If I lose it's still my way. In the sadness I will stay. I will stay. Float in supply but I don't really care. There's poetry hidden in the air. You see numbers, I see dreams, warping in through broken seams. They say meta, I say why. Let it burn, let it die. Every loss got a silver flame. Every wind don't feel the same. I don't need the perfect plan, just a vision they don't understand. Kiss my bill before it breaks. Watch it fall for beauty's sake. Summertime but I feel the cold. On the ladder
Good morning, good morning.
say my name when the screen goes black. No GG, I won't come back. If I lose it's still my way. In the sadness I will stay. If you see me in the replay, don't try to say.
Thanks, Miss Aries. Hope you're having a good day. Good morning. Fresh start to the day.
Late night fades into morning light. Another loss, but it felt so right. If they ask me why I play, I just smile, drift away.
Yeah, we're gonna just get a little StarCraft today. Later on tonight we're gonna be playing Resident Evil 8. Dun, dun, dun.
Mind wide, thoughts collide. Every map, every move, I see it all. They think I break, but I multiply. Yeah. Ruthless grind, I don't play fair. Your bill's weak, I'm already there. Scout too late, you best beware. I flip the ladder while you despair. Mind sharp, I see every flaw. Queens inject, links swarm raw. You think you safe, I break the law. I take your plan and leave you in awe. Yeah, proxy hatch in your front, I drop it silent. Work and scatter, every move violent. Bend the meta, leave it defiant. You blink once, now your army compliant. Minds in the mist, ghosts in my vein. Every misclick fuels my gain. I turn chaos into rain. By the time you react, it's all in vain. I redefine what mad means. Every safe move, I twist and gleam. I'm a nightmare you've never seen. Replays mine, now feel the machine. Voices in my head co-sign. One whisper slow, one tails combine. I fuse them both, strike every line. Your build collapses, now it's mine. They try to cage my vision. Every wall, every base, every drone. I see it, I touch it, I own. I turn the ladder into my throne. Ruthless kind, I don't play fair. Your build's weak, I'm already there. Scout too late, you best beware. I flip the ladder while you despair. My sharp, I see every flaw. Queens inject, links swarm raw. You think you safe, I break the law. I take your plan and leave you in awe. Stage lights, all terrain, every echo, every sound. Every pain, I expand my mind. Plant every brain, multi-pronged thoughts. Lanes running the lane, tech tree crooked. I make it clean. Your push predicted, I intervene. Every scout, every it obscene. Call me mad, I refine it, every limit I redesign it. You can't trace it, can't confine it, I'm playing past the assignment. Ghost cloak, nooks in disguise. Flip your word before you realize. Every click calculated, no lies. By the time you blink, I monopolize. Too much, I know. Too wild, I go. Too fast, I blow. I don't stop, I overflow. Offline, but I'm online, still grind. Crowd silent, but my mind designed. I don't tilt, I orchestrate every fear you feel. I elevate, fuse my thoughts, I explode. Every mental fight, I own the code. You hesitate, I overload. Yeah, whole army corrodes. I take your base, I take your crown. Turn your strategy upside down. I leave your ladder broken ground. No one knows who threw the gown. Ruthless grind, I don't play fair. Your bill's weak, I'm already there. Scout too late, you best beware. I flip the ladder while you despair. Mine sharp, I see every flaw. Queens in jack, link swarm roar. You think you safe, I break the law. I take your plan and leave you in awe. They said I'm done. Yeah. I just went ahead. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Eyes on the screen.
What up, Team Green? Welcome,
I
welcome.
see every micro clip. They move fast, but I'm faster. Every flaw just makes me master. Minerals falling like prey below. I know the next step before.
What are you up to? Did you get some StarCraft?
No friend, no guide. I strike in silence, I strike in pride. I don't chase, I don't wait. Every second decides their fate. I'm a ladder predator, cold and precise. Every loss, every win.
Oh, yeah.
Of the dice you think you
Get
have.
some water real quick. Be right back. We're gonna start soon. I was working on some music last night, so you guys have some music on my YouTube. You're doing all morning twos? Oh shit. If you got any replays you'd like to send, or if you wanna replay coaching, let me know. I'm always here to help. Taking a little break. Yeah, I hear you. We're gonna do a little bit of replay watching real quick. Yeah. I have a few people that like my more rap style music, and then I always like to mix it in with some of my more casual, relaxing, confession style, deep thought music, What up, digital? But yeah, a lot of people do ask questions about like how I play, why I play the way I play, and a lot of it's literally in the music. It's literally in the music. I think that's another way for me to like explain it, It's really hard to really say it without saying it in so many different ways. With so many emotions, right? Each song has like an emotional feel to it, so that the emotional feel ties the message. What up, Timo? Yeah, it's supposed to be inspirational. It's supposed to be inspirational. It's supposed to be, you know, educational. Believe it or not, it's supposed to be educational. You know, how to think in StarCraft, where you should put your energy waves of thought. What should be thinking, you know, what should be on your mind, what shouldn't be on your mind. Here's one. This is me when I was kind of new. Said, let me go get some water. Enjoy the song. It's fun.
Remember when I first clicked play. Didn't know the maps, didn't know the game. I was just a nerd with a dream and a screen, trying to figure out what APM means. You were telling me, just build your base, follow me to keep a steady pace. But I saw a probe just slip away. That's when everything began to change. We were young, didn't know the rules, did whatever we wanted to, didn't care if it made no sense. Yeah, we called it skill, it was confidence. Oops, I dropped a proxy by a mineral line. Said oops, yeah, you didn't see it in time. Going all night, playing every build I like, singing la la la. Yeah, we're gonna be alright. Hold up, if you wanna go and cheese like me, better think twice, cause I don't play nicey. All day long I've been grinding my own way, singing la la la. Now you're typing GG. Now I'm older.
Cheers.
Yeah, I know the game, but I never really stayed the same. While they copy builds that they've been shown, I just turn the chaos into my own. You say standard, I don't really care. I'll send a drone anywhere, I swear. If it works once, I'll do it twice. If it fails, also call it nice. We grew up, but I kept that style. Every loss just made it worthwhile. Now I play like there's no script. Every move's a gamble, I commit. Oops, I hit your base from a side you denied. Said oops, yeah, you left it open. Why going all night? Yeah, I'm playing off instinct, singing la 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 while you're overthinking. Hold up, if you wanna try and play like me, better let go of what you think should be. All this time I've been breaking every line, singing la la la. Now the ladder's mine. Back when it was simple, back when it was fun, didn't need a reason, didn't need to run. Now they're chasing perfect, I'm chasing free. That's the only way it ever worked for me. Oops, I turned your plan into a memory. Said oops, now you're watching replays of me. All this time, yeah, I stayed unpredictable, singing la la la. Now it's unforgettable. Hold up, if you wanna understand my play, you gotta throw your expectations away. All night long, yeah, I've been in my own zone, singing la la la. Now I'm never alone, yeah. Yeah. Back in 2012, we didn't follow rules, we made them.
Yeah. You know how I do. Slide in. Real easy. No rush. Just rhythm. I log in. Let the screen light glow. Hand on the mouse. Yeah, I'm moving real slow. Map so wide. But I keep it real tight. Make a little move. Then I fade out of sight. Couple little drones. Yeah, they working my lane. Send them out soft. Bring them back with a game. You looking for me. But I'm not where you at. By the time you peep game, I'm attacking your stack. Bill looks strange. Yeah, I know what it be. You think it's soft, but it's playing by me. Take one loss just to pull you in deep. Now you're chasing a ghost while I'm playing for keeps. Micro so smooth,
Okay,
like I'm
here we
drifting
go.
a ride. Slide to the left, then I goes to the right. You call it luck, I just call it control. Every move real slow, but it's taking your soul. Man, she up top, yeah, she float like
Okay,
a
let's
breeze.
see here.
Cloak on clean, now you can't even see. You throwing scans, but you wasting your time while I'm building it up. Yeah, I'm stacking my climb, expand, reload. Keep it out of your sight while you stressing mid-mat. Trying to pick a good fight, I don't rush nothing. Let the moment just sit, then I strike one time. Yeah, it's clean when it hit, fake little bass. Yeah, I leave it to shine, you invest in a lot. Now you falling behind every step you take. I already knew you playing catch up.
Okay, so we've been doing Zerg versus Terran, or Terran versus Zerg, and we've been experiencing different things. And so right now we're gonna look at my mistakes and things that I don't see. So we were talking about this yesterday. Yesterday we were talking about scouting, you know. Someone was asking me a question. I think it was Simis was asking me a question about scouting. And I told him that, yeah, scouting is good. It's an option though at the same time, because time is also a way of scouting if you don't want to scout. And if you know certain times happen, things happen at certain times, when it doesn't happen, then you know that that's not what they're going for. Because why would they do it late? It wouldn't be optimal. And so people like to do optimal, so the timing should be somewhat within reason, or else it's no longer that. You can go to the next potential play that it could be. At some point you're gonna have a unit that you're gonna scout with, but in the intro, that's what you gotta, think about. Sometimes scouting the outside of your bases is just as important as if you were scouting your opponent's base. Sometimes it's more important to scout your base than their base, because they might be building at your third, they might be building at your close to your third, between your third and your natural, 4 racks, proxy, Stargate, different situations. Sometimes a proxy hatch. And so sometimes it's even better just scouting your surroundings and then let the time allow you to kind of identify what they aren't doing. As long as you have but it really depends on your build. Are you going to be aggressive or are you not? Is your army going to be at home to defend? Is it going to be somewhere out there where you're not going to be able to defend and your base is vulnerable? Those are things you got to tie to what you're scouting for and why you're scouting. Because sometimes when you scout and you're looking for something, you see it, you oversee it, let's just say. Because Zerg is tricky. Let's say Zerg. Zerg has a Spire and a Hydralisk Den and, Roach Warren, and you look at that Spire going, he's going mutas, right? You would think, you scan, you see something, you want to see it, you want to expect mutas, but you need some information that it is mutas. Then you look at the Spire, it is mutas, and next thing you know, you get Hydra rushed, and you're countering mutas when it's not mutas. So sometimes scouting could be a bit dangerous to one's mind because you overthink it. So that can happen. So that's why I kind of just scout depending on my playstyle, what's important, but I don't overdo it. At least I don't over assume in StarCraft as much as I used to by seeing something and assume, oh, it's gonna be this. Because Zerg, they can go one way, and the next thing you know it, they trade their army, they go to the next way. They go from ground, trade their army, next thing you know it, they're going air. And so you gotta be careful with that. So for me, it's better to have more like harassing tactic where I harass them, and it's like kind of jiu-jitsu where you harass them and you're feeling them out. They have to reveal themselves when they engage in defense. So by doing a small little scrimmage somewhere, they have to show their cards. When they show their cards, then I get a better feel to it. But just scouting the buildings can be tricky. Right now I'm thinking of starting to do two barracks, and patrol them right by the front. So there's ideas that I'm already, come up with, and it's growth. You eventually like get better and develop your tactics and start shaving out things that don't work and what they do and where your mistakes are, and you're like, okay, and you become a better player, a better, like, for me, Terran versus Zerg player. The good thing is that most players on their side they're very predictable and they're very redundant. So it's that redundancy that's going to allow me to be able to understand them a little bit better. And I got to look at my build and my timing to see what works, what doesn't, what I really need to scout, what time do I have to just be defensive if I'm not scouting. So we're going to look at some of that right now. It's going to be more educational type with the games that I'm going to look at real quick. It's what do we see and what can we take from the game, because when I play ladder and then we win, I'll go back and watch the replay. The reason why I watch the replay is because I'm enjoying my victory. It's nice to enjoy your victory, especially if there's some juicy stuff in the, to watch, right? StarCraft is so stressful. You want to make sure you're able to, enjoy it with all the stress that it gives you. But they go, well, Flo, why don't you look at your losses? Well, it's like I do those in the back end, and so that's what we're doing right now. What I do is I play a lot of games, right? And then after I played a lot of games, I go back and I look at specific, if I'm doing a certain build, I'll look at specific matchups so I can see a pattern. If I can see a pattern, I will identify it, whether it be timing, a certain follow-up, or whatever it is. What I don't usually scout for, I'm going to see right now in my replays. Yeah, so yeah. So I do watch my lost replays. They're just more on the educational side, and I do watch my victory replays right after as an enjoyment side, celebratory side. Those are my two ways of dividing education and celebration. But when I celebrate, even though I'm celebrating, it doesn't come without judging my failures. Like, even though I celebrate and enjoy the game, in the back of my head, I still remember that I got supply blocked at this time. I didn't do this move right. I traded improperly here. I didn't get my tech quick enough here. I have like a bunch of red that I'm going to put on my replay mentally that I already, but I'm going to enjoy the victory. So it's like you're not enjoying the victory without thinking about still how do you improve within it, right? Because we look at the victory, yeah, but in reality we made so many mistakes, but we kind of override it with the victory mentally. So I try to make sure I separate my celebration and actual education within how do I get better. I still messed up. I got the win. The game told me I won. It gave me a little treat, but technically I messed up so many different ways. Let's fix that. So I kind of do both. So it's not like just, you celebrate and that's it. No, I celebrate, but I also know all the things that I made mistakes on. I keep that in mind when I got supply blocked. So that's just the side I don't show often. I just show the celebration side. I don't show you because I can't say everything that's in my mind, but that's what I do. I think about that, but I'm also in my head thinking about I got my red marker and I'm just right there, just messed up here, messed up there. It's all going on during the game, and I keep that. Um, that's important to me versus the victory in itself. But you gotta have fun, you know. Usually losses teach you more than wins. Usually losses teach you more than wins. But if you learn that wins also teach you where you messed up, that's where your mind can start getting a better picture of how to separate victory enjoyment versus the grind. The grind itself, yeah, I won. What did I really win? That's just a step. I just took a step. You know, we're climbing a mountain. I just took one step forward. That's it. I still got many steps to get up there. You know, but I'm also gonna probably take a step back. You know, I might tumble a little bit and have to go back up. So at the end of the day, why am I worried about steps? Why am I really worried about the victory that it told me I had? The more important part is climbing, learning how to climb, keeping an eye on the climb. How good are you doing? Your tactics, your thoughts, you're playing game plans. Stay on point, you know? So winning and losing technically are just a mental perspective of how, you know, you can consider putting a finish line when it's really not a finish line, it's just a step. But in your mind, sometimes it could trap you with just, you know, that situation where, you know, a boxer thinks he knocked someone out, but he didn't, and the guy, he's all celebrating. Oh, it turns around and gets knocked out. Gotta, you know, where's your mind at? But it's good to know how to celebrate too. You know, all work, no play makes flow a doughboy, they say, right? So you have to learn how to separate the two. Have fun, but also know that these, you know, I messed up here. Be realistic. And I think it's healthy that way. But that's probably why a lot of people have that sense of losses teach you more. It's because people don't separate the victory with still the grind, and they don't think about what they made a mistake on. It's time to celebrate. You made a mistake. I don't know. I don't care. I'm winning. Let's go. You know. But when you lose, you're like, what happened? What happened? What the shit? How did I do? You know. So you have to figure out how to tune your wins to that mode as well, but also enjoy the game. It's interesting, but it's fun. What up, Timo? Hello all. What up, Tony? Alright, so let's look at Terran versus Zerg. We have to look at one that has like a longer... 13 minutes, I guess we could check that. So most of the time I should be doing the similar build or something within that build, but we're going to look at the Zerg as well. Let's see. We'll do this for a moment. Start looking. Alright, we're gonna fast forward some stuff. So we went for a drone stack. Yeah, the Overlord. See how the Overlord looks around? At the higher level, it's harder to hide the barracks on the side, especially the longer the game is, the older the game. They've been barracked enough times, at least as you get better, where the Overlords start scouting this area. You know, which is good for him that he's like scouting because he doesn't want to get proxied. And even though it's not the strongest anyways, like when you proxy At the higher level, it's still complicated. You know, you're still like behind, because they can make spines and eventually break it because you don't have enough time to make enough Marines to be able to like get that major impact. And if you do, you make so many here that you're vulnerable at your main base for like a lean bane bust or something, you know. So it's kind of, and it, you know, so you're kind of stuck right here with you know, you might have denied or can't kill the hatchery, but your bunker, you're stuck here. You know, if you move out, you're gonna get swarmed, or you know, and if you don't, you're gonna get broken from the front. So it's complicated. At the lower levels, as you get for lower level players, it's fun. Give it a shot. Do it. I'm just saying, down the road, just understand. Players start getting a little bit more paranoid and they start scouting. So enjoy it at the lower levels because it works better in those chaotic ways. But at the higher levels, just know that there's another build you gotta still learn outside of that intro, because that could get shut down. And when it does, at least you'll have other tools in your bag. So he's going for the third. If we look at our base, I'm getting this right here. So in this situation, we're looking at the time. Time is everything. So every time a Zerg attacks, we're gonna kind of get an idea of that time. Just to see if we see a pattern. You always want to see if there's a pattern somewhere that majority of the Zergs are doing, so you can read something. Like, look at this, the spire, right? So in this case, the Zerg is not building the spire here because they can get scanned, right? And if they get scanned, obviously, oh, you see there's a spire, he's gonna be ready for it, so it's gonna affect my spire. So the spire's over here. One thing I've been trying to do just recently is thinking about sending the barracks over to this side, right? Float it over here. And then what I'll do is I'll scan here. I'll scan this area, and when I don't see anything, then the barracks goes in for this scout, which is the side scout. Usually they're in the back right here. So you just get the barracks and float it right here, and then you go back, and then you can have it in the center, you know, like an overlord. That's what I'm going to try to do too, is have two overlords, two barracks overlords. You see that? Two barracks overlords here and here. And what I'm doing there is I'm trying to be aware of the Ling Bane. Sometimes there's a build where a bunch of Banelings, we'll see it, bunch of Banelings that come just flying in, and you're trying to take a third, and you're like, oh shoot, you get sideswiped. So the two barracks is supposed to help me, but until then, we can go in for the scout, and that's something that I'm adding to. Let's try this. Let's try this. And we go in there, try it with the barracks, get the barracks scout here, and then get the actual scout here. So we scan once, but at least we'll have good scout. Because what happens is we scan, but then we're like, oh shoot, we don't see nothing, and the tech could be over here. Now now what? We want to scan twice? That's wasteful. Sometimes you don't even have two scans, so you're like, shoot. So that's so the barracks can go over here, scan this, go over here, look for this, and then come back over here to the center and do an overlord scout. Okay, so how can I see the bottom thing on my replays? The what? The bottom things on my replays? These? How do you see these? When you go into your options, and you go to the observer replays, okay? In your observer replay, there's a section observer interface, and then replays right here. How you want it to look. I just put them both on WCS 3.0. but I believe it's this one that you want to make sure at least. But WCS 3.0 is the one. You could do different ones and see which one you like. You know, see which one you like. But I use the WCS 3.0. You could also use the Game Heart. Pig loves, or I don't know if he loves it, but he uses Game Heart a lot. I don't use it. I don't like. He knows how to do all the good stuff. You know, so yeah, he loves this one compared to the ones that's the only one I've heard him say, Game Heart. That's why I got it, but I don't use it. But it's there. But yeah, that's how you do it. Game Heart, you have to download it, I think, and then you get it. I don't think this one's like. I think I had to download it. I'm not sure, but yeah. So if you don't see Game Heart, just know that you have to download it somewhere. I gotta figure out where Pig did it. It's been a while. You don't have that many? Do you have the WCS 3.0? Do you have this one? You have that one? Then you're good. Yeah, at least you're good. You got the good one. WCS 3.0 is the one I use, so it's the one that you get this stuff right here. Then you have hotkeys. You're gonna have to figure out the hotkeys. Just go in there and start typing like E. Just go R, P, F, like, you know. D means, look at this. D, you take the production off. You go A, click A, and then you get the minerals and gas. You push S, and you got the economy, the tech army. You know, what else we got? Of course, we got Zoom. So, and then you push B, and that's back, I think you know. So, you know, and you push, of course, W for everybody. If you want, I mean, E for everybody. If you want to see everybody, you push E, of course. And if you want to see just a specific person, just push 1 or 2. You know. But yeah, hopefully that helped you. If you put the one on default, it gives you a pull down and you don't need the hotkeys. That's another one too. You don't get this, but you'll get this kind of like top side with the drop down, but you'll get like the production up here. So, you know, take a look at both and see which one you like, you know. You know, some people like this kind of bottom, you know, appearance. It just looks cool. It gives you more space. Looks more open. So, yeah. Give it a shot. I do Control A. Control A. Yeah, there's Control S. I mean, there's controls and shifts, right? Control A, army supply and workers. The worker supply. Yep. How many workers do we smash? That's true. That one's a big one right here. Control A, the worker supply. You always want to know how many workers you killed. I don't know, something about the worker killed. You're just like, that's right. That is right. Just do it. Yeah. Okay, so let's just say 5 minutes, okay? Okay, so let's see. What the? Oh, what? Okay. Yeah. Shoot. Let's see. It's too big. Okay. So what I do is I'll cut this one out and put 5 minutes. Yeah. I'll just go to PowerPoint. This is what I do. I go to PowerPoint, right? I'm like a nerd. And I'll just put that right there. And what that does is it gives me the time. You know, what I do is I take a picture of the time and the spire. And of course the minimap spread. It's 3 hatcheries. So 3 hatcheries, 5 minutes, spire. Tells me so much in this game, right? So and what we'll do is we'll get more information. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna see if we see a pattern within Zergs, that either when they go mutas, what times are they usually, you know, and at what time is the spire usually starting, so that I know when to scout, when do I need to send my barracks, when do I need to scan, you know, when's a good time, when's the sweet spot. So those are things that I look at when I look at my replay, like especially regarding what build I'm doing. Sounds still loud. Yeah, it's more clean. So he's coming in, and I think I was looking for an overlord, and then I caught him. So 6 minutes, 6:30 is what last time I was telling myself. Is around 6:30. So it didn't work. What up, Trickin? How you doing? You got low box. Usually lose, yeah. Okay. Yeah, they get what? They get lurkers, infestor pit, a lot of hydras. Yeah, the music got chased down. Yeah, that's, you gotta watch out for that. But you see my barracks? My barracks are scouting. I'm trying to get, you know, ahead of the bailings if there was bailings, but yeah, look at those bailings. Look at them bailings. You see that? Those little sneaky bastards. He's like, hey, stop scouting. Then I did a door drop. So 5 minutes is when we saw the 10 minutes. Let's watch. What we're looking for is patterns. That's how I look. That's how I do my like learning. I kind of look at one matchup only. When I look at my replays, one day I look at one matchup, and then another day another matchup. Whether it be, I just want to make sure that I'm watching enough of the same matchup so I can see a pattern of something. Like maybe I'm not seeing something that everybody does that I should know that they do. You know. 5 minutes, yeah. So whenever I do my build, I have to make sure that, okay, 5 minute potential, I should have at least this or at least that. They hit at 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So let's just say by 6 minutes I should have my turrets, or I should start my turrets at 6 minutes if I want to like really do late. But that's just one player. So we're gonna just see if we see another player go mutas, and at what time was that. That's what we're gonna look. And what I do is I look at the most earliest mutas and I go, that's my outlier for when to fully make sure that I have a turret. Worst case scenario, I have to have a turret up at, you know. because that's the earliest that a muta can come, and I don't want to get sideswiped. So in this situation right here, I'm expecting, I didn't see a hatch. Okay, so sometimes we're gonna get this. We're gonna get there's no hatchery early on. We go and scout and there's no hatchery. Then I built an engineering bay just to see what he's doing, right? But there's gonna be games where you go in and you scout and you go, okay, there's a hatchery, cool. If it's a hatchery, I can get a command center without really much of a hassle. But if it's not a hatchery and you're on one base, I gotta watch out for Roach Rush or Ling Bane. Maybe, why else would you hurt your economy? If you're hurting your economy, you're hurting it for a reason. And and this is hurting your economy, right? By not having an economy grow. So because of that, that energy is going somewhere else. It's going towards your base. So that's what you have to realize whenever you see no hatchery. That's why scouting is important. Especially in TVZ, you go scout early with the SCV to see if the hatchery is there, because it allows you, for one, if you wanted to get a command center early, it lets you know it's safe passage. But if you go in there and you don't see a hatchery, you could choose to harass him and deny this for a little while just to see if he's going to make one. Just spin around with the SCV. And just know that you can't just take a command center right off the bottom. You can't just make a command center at the bottom. You got to make it at the top if you are going to make one. But if you are, still think about getting a fast tank or a Banshee. Because it could be Roach Ravager or it could be Ling Bane. So that's what you got to think about when you're seeing that the Zerg has no natural. In this case, the hatchery is being made. He makes it, but it's late. It's already late. So whatever he's gonna do, he's gonna do. It's not gonna be macro. He could change his mind though, but he's still late. The hatchery is late. Could have been done a long time ago. His third could have been already done. This one would have been already been saturating. Maybe 7 drones. And so he's over here with Lynx. And we're seeing a Bailey nest. So, you get me? So, no hatchery at the natural if you scout early. Meaning that energy is going to come to you somehow. The first common one is the Bailing bust. The second one is going to be the Roach Rush. Just comes in with roaches and maybe a Ravager or 2. So in this case right here, I got Hellions because they're at least a little faster, and then you got the bunker in the back. The bunker in the back, I got supply depots walling. I got there's no way in there other than this little pocket. The little pocket's what I allowed the Zerglings to have, so they can all pile up right here in this little spot. But down here, I look vulnerable. I'm very vulnerable. Sometimes I like to make a bunker here just to protect one of the supply depots, because one of them is going to be broken, the other one usually isn't. But then at this point, sometimes they're just let it go. Get the barracks up and land it somewhere else. You're already going to sacrifice 2 supply depots, which I already have mine right here. In this case, I was like, oh, I know he's going to do something. Let me go instigate. So I was instigating with my Hellions. Still didn't do a good instigation. I still lost Hellions. See, he thinks he's like, oh, victory. Let me get in there and kill all them SCVs. He didn't realize there's a bunker in the back, the master IQ plan. And now they're stuck right here wondering what's going on. We're not killing SCVs. Why we're not killing SCVs? They realize there's a bunker in the back. Who does the bunker in the back? See how they gravitate to the bunker? The other thing is, if you like BCs, right? If you're a low level player and you like BCs, and you wonder when to do BCs, well, if you like BCs and you go down to his base and you don't see a hatchery like we did in this game, if you don't see a hatchery down here, that's a green light for you could make a BC. You could do a BC rush. Because it throws a player, the Zerg's already weak in their economy, so they don't have that many queens. So, and at the same time, a BC really helps if you're getting roach rushed, or you just have to be able to defend against the bailing bust. You get me? As long as you defend against the bailing bust, when the roaches come, you can move around to the bunker, hide within the bunker for a little bit until the BC comes in, and at that point, you got a BC. But the BC really does good when the Zerg goes for a pull first, because they're so behind on things. It hurts them. It doesn't kill them. Maybe at the lower levels it will, but at the mid levels it punishes them a bit. So remember that, I take a punch to set up for my punch. Tower defense, yeah, because it's gonna happen, but it's high probability that it's gonna be Lean Bane. Yeah, at that point, BCs, they're fun. I'm gonna probably start doing more BCs just to kind of play with them a little bit to see. Zergs tend to get a lot of bases, and it's really hard for the Thors to go over there and the Hellions to go over there. So I'm like, probably might be BCs. I probably have to do like some BC play within. We'll explain it as we look at some of these TVZs. I'll talk about more of it. Let's see. Let's go to this one. 12 minutes. What up, Adrian? How you guys doing? We got Chuckled Hound. Welcome. Rob. Baguette. Bequet. Bequois? Bequois? Is that French? What up, Enemy? How you doing? Spire was around 5. You need to make sure your eBay is done before that. Well, the good thing about that, Enemy, is that the reason when I get a fast command center for a PF, it needs an engineering bay. So by default, I already have my engineering bay based on the build order. So that's a good thing. So the engineering base, comes out before that time. So basically, when the command center is coming up, I make the engineering bay. I start making it after the command center. I'll start making it over here somewhere. I'll make the barracks first so I can get a marine, right? I'm getting a marine first so that the lings don't come through. And then I get the engineering bay. But yeah, that means if you are playing a normal build, you got to remember your engineering bay has to at least be done at what time? Before, so 4 minutes, right? 5 minutes. So yours has to be, you'd have to do it at like 4:30 or something like that to be safe. If you want to be late, a little bit delayed on it. Raw barbecue. Okay. So it was a hatch first. Okay. Well, was it a hatch first? Let's look at it. Yeah, it was a hatch first. And the reason why I say a hatch first is he was planning to get a hatch. He wasn't planning to get a pull first and then a hatch. Even though he got denied and made a pull, that pull is delayed technically in a standard sense of a pull pull rush. So I could look at this as a hatch first. Because when I look at someone doing like say a muta rush, when they do muta rush, I go, okay, this is a muta rush at this time. Was this off of a 1 base or was this off of a 2 base? Was it a hatch first or was it a pull first? So that I can kind of put it in the right category of timing. Because if you have a Zerg hit, but it was pull first, it's going to be earlier. If it was a hatch first, it's going to be slightly later, but it's going to be a little bit more heavier. So it just helps me with the timing when I see mutas at what time. I can identify if it was a hatch first or a pull first if I didn't see it in the first place of the game. Lets you know where your footing is. So this I can kind of categorize as a hatch first, even though it got denied and he had to build the pull first. Okay, drone, baby. So the Zergs are gonna drone, especially if you're going mech. If you're going mech, expect them to make a lot of drones and a lot of minerals, and they can trade a lot. So it's complicated, you know. They got one more base more than I do. So that you know, and eventually another base. So you're like, it's like 2v1 sometimes. It feels like a 2v1. So if it's kind of like a 2v1 in a way, you gotta fight a little different than feeling like you could fight them just straight up. Because if you hit them, someone's gonna hit you from the side, and you're like, oh shoot, who the hell is that? That's how Zerg feels, because they have so much income and they can get a big swarm. They could hit you from the left and they could hit you from the right. They could hit you at the bottom and they could hit you on the top. And you're over there like, shoot, there's 2 guys. How do I fight 2 guys? So you have to play it a little bit more creative. Just know that you know, their units are a little more weaker, so they are more expendable. So if I have to deal with Zergs that macro a lot and have a lot of money, I have to figure out how to kill their units as much as I could without losing as much as I have, you know. And that's complicated. You got to figure out how to meet in the middle. You can't just be over there trading straight up. You trade up straight up, they have more minerals, you're just gonna eventually whittle away. That's why in this situation I'm going like liberators, because for one, we're looking at this, right? You scan this, you're thinking mutas. It's like, oh, you scan this, you're like, oh, Spire, yeah, he's going mutas. But he could go Hydras and then down the road make Corruptors and go Broodlords, and that could literally just be for the Broodlords. Because at the end of the day, Zerg at the end game tends to go Broodlords. It's either Broodlords or Ultras, but most of them go Broodlords. It's a safer play. It's the more common, more standard since Wings of Liberty. You know, Broodlords and GG Lords. No, Windfesters and GG Lords. So you can't just think of that and go, oh, he's going mutas. You know, there's always a chance they could switch it. So right now it's Lings. We got Lings and Banes, and the third is complicated. You know, when to take the third, we got, look at this. Right? So that's why I take the third a little bit later, because for one, I don't even have the units if I go out there, you know, to be able to defend. But at the same time, that's why I'm storing all my SCVs here, so I can grab them all and start mining quickly and saturate it really quick. It's a little delayed, but I'm hoping to quickly saturate it. I believe in this game I messed up, and this is what we're looking at the replay, because you know, this is things that I need to see. So remember the barracks? I was talking about the barracks that I wanted to float. One barracks over here and over here. Well, the barracks are for this situation where I can scout, my surroundings, like what's going on, because that's a lot of units, and you can't protect a command center against that. Look at that. Look at that flood. So I'm contemplating if I should even make a PF until later. Until then, just make it where I'm mining, and if I need to, pick them up. Right? So if I make SCVs, I need to figure out how to like just not lose too many SCVs or the building. And you can lose it really quick with this, so I have to lift it up and pick up. So I can't get a PF right away. So that's tricky. So I would have to scout a different build to see if I needed to make a PF right away or not. And then I messed up right here because I walled. I didn't drop my wall, so I delayed my cyclones from attacking. And then I moved out. Big mistake. And then I forgot to repair the PF right here. And then he got in and just... But, so... Let's look at this. But this is a little later. This is like 9 minutes in, right? What was the spire? Shit, spire came in at 6:30. But didn't make anything for a while and was on 3 bases. It's more of a ling. And we're gonna be okay. So one thing I was thinking of doing is getting a raven and some hellions to start killing the creep. So I'm thinking with the hellions and the raven, I could identify if it's gonna be lings. If it's gonna be a lot of lings. So that's kind of another thing that I'm kind of trying to do is start off maybe with some hellions and a raven so I can kill the creep, but also see if the lings are growing, to be preparing for the third a certain way, or get widow mines. That's the other thing I was thinking. I was like, well, I could go for a PF and then go widow mines and just go heavy widow mines at the third, and if he does come, the lings, if it's lings, we'll be able to deal with it better. That was the other thing which we could do. We could try the PF right away, but then widow mine the area after we get like 4 cyclones. Just get the rest widow mines. So we'll see. Another thing that I've been doing too recently is I've been getting 2 command centers, where I get 2 command centers so that when I float them over here, I make 2 PFs right away, and I create a more stronger third. Because that third is, you got to really defend that third. The other thing is with that third, that's why I'm trying to like look at the muta timing, because the muta timing is the part that I have to look at the race at the different players, so I can be able to hold that third a lot more. I say effective. You want to be more effective in your intros, and the better I get at getting the third base and situating with not getting with defending as much that Zerg can give you, that's what I want to do, because at that point then we're gonna be able to get to the next stage, which is get to the 4th, how to do everything where I can defend against everything decently, where I can get the 4th, because it tends to be like if you're playing like a late game against Zerg, you gotta take your bases, because the gas is very important. If you don't have your gas, you're gonna wither away at the end. gas with the Broodlords. Broodlords will break you if you got no gas. Okay. So yeah, that was 8 minutes. Let's see. All right, we'll take a look at another one. We'll keep an eye on that one. It's so far out. Here's another one. He also had 3 or so siege tanks. Yeah, the siege tanks. They were supposed to be at the edge. They were supposed to be at the edge on the top cliff, and they were supposed to be on the top cliff so that they could protect the third and splash. But I didn't do it in time, and they came with me with the F2 because I F2'd. They came with me, and I'm like, what are you doing here? What are you guys doing here? They're supposed to be at the top. I always get 3 tanks for the top cliff. That way, when I have to lift up or if I have to fight, the Cyclones kind of get a little help from the tank side. Yeah, but I F2'd when they came out, and then they're like, hey, we're here. And they're supposed to be up there doing stuff. They're supposed to over there splash the lings. Supposed to be able to fall back and then push. But it's tricky because that's the reason why I'm looking at the replays, because the mutas are the more important part that I'm looking at. Well, when do they get their mutas? How big are they at the time? Because the mutas come in and start taking out my tanks too if I don't have enough Cyclones. They'll come in and start sniping the tanks. Or I get turrets. So those are things that I have to figure out where the waste is in my time. Is that a Nexus? Yeah, there's a Nexus with the probe. Yeah, they came out somewhere and then my F2 just grabbed them. Okay, so this Zerg is going for Hatch first? No. Oh yeah. No, full first, full hatch. Full hatch. This one's greedy. And that happens sometimes, that's where I'm like, sometimes I get some Hellions and I go early, because sometimes they get very greedy. See this? So I'm trying to do like early harass just to get them to make lings, because if not, they're gonna just drone. The sad part is they can make some spines. Spines and queens do a really good job against the Hellions. If I move out right now, they can swarm me. So yeah, a little bit of damage, but man, those spine crawlers, they tear up Hellions. But look at that. And you see these spines? It takes a little while to take them out. Okay, so like you see how I'm going in here? And I'm trying to get in there to get in the drone. If I go in there, I'm going to lose my Hellions quick. Because there's, and they're going to run away and then I'm just going to lose a bad trade. So it gets tricky with the spines. Being there, and some people do spine walls. They'll make like 5-6 spine walls, right? And with the Cyclones, they'll come in to try to snipe something, and it's hard because now you have to snipe the spines. But the time that it takes you to snipe the spines, they're at your they're at your butt already. And you're like, shoot, they're already here, and then you might lose units. So it's like, So I've been doing BCs recently as well, and the BCs are to deal with this stuff. If I can get like, you know, a good 5 BCs, maybe 6 throughout the intro, whenever they take a base, I can come down here and yo model a base and then take off. Yo model, take off. Yo model, because I'll have to deal with this spine crawlers anyways. You know, I'll just have to watch out for the infestors. You know, mind control. Look at all those queens. They don't mess around. They don't mess. But we came over here and did some work. And we came over here with some ravens. BC over here. And we did the raven again over here. We had to put some work on this one because he was just growing. Right, so we had him hit him here, we had him here, we had him here. Working the body, you know, and I still got to do better. Look at him, still growing, spreading all that creep. I need to get a raven too. I need to remember to get a raven because my scans. I gotta kill the creep when I'm engaging. It's the best time. So what he wanted to do with the overseers is he wanted to make a bunch of overseers and just keep spreading all the changelings at me. He just wanted to spam changelings over and over again to my base. Able to do a lot of damage back and forth to slow him down. Of course, the endgame brood lords. The Hellions, yeah, we had to make them work. I'm trying to do more Hellion run bys. I'm trying to do more Hellion with Raven to kill the creep. The BCs, I'm adding the BCs. I'm also adding Thor drops. I'm trying to do Thor drops as well. The other game we had some Thor drops, like a 4 Thor drop to take out a hatchery. So we might have to like go with the BC over here and then a Thor drop over here on this side and then try to chip away the Zerg. But I have to do it in a way where I have to take a base, do the move, take another base, do the move, things like that. Got to keep them occupied while we transition to another base. So that one didn't go mutas, that one just macroed. That one was just full on macro and was gonna go Brood Lords. Yeah, you can always spot an F2 enjoyer. Yeah. That's funny. It's true. The Ling, yeah. You gotta have him on a hotkey. Gotta have him on a hotkey. You can get a Hellion plus Raven group early on and preserve it. You can hit them one side and draw all their link. Yeah, that's the goal. That would be the goal, is with the Hellions. Don't go in and overcommit, but kind of go in there to chip away the Hellions, run back, stay off creep, and then when the Lings come, kill some of the Lings, pull back, run around, go kill some more creep, pull back, and just kind of work the creep just to keep it from getting too crazy to your side, because the if you could keep the creep on their side, you know, it keeps them from being able to have it take over your side, where you have to spend longer to kill the creep off to even take a base. And that's what it's supposed to do. It's like the creep is supposed to eventually like swallow your expos, where it takes longer for you to like take them. You get me? Well, they take the map, so it's, think of them like it's like bacteria. Should come together a lot sooner than their BC. Let's see. Well, let's see what happens now. So this one's a little different. I get a command center. If I scout for a hatch first, if it's a hatch first, get a command center, get a bunker, and get some Marines. You gotta get a PF early if you're worried about a roach rush, which could happen. Which I can't remember what time it is, so what I think roach rush should have already been. What do we got here? So one information is this particular Zerg doesn't have a layer tech at the main or natural. Usually I see a layer tech. Oh, there it goes. Just a little late. And look at that. 1 base, 2 base, 3 base, you know, 5 bases now. That's the one thing about going mech. If you're going mech, it's like, well, even if you don't go mech, but typically if you're going mech, everything gets, you know, it's more expensive. You know, I don't have much resources, you know, but they do. They got 3 bases saturated, could afford more, almost a 4th base saturated. It's tough. We're here trying to muster up a base and a half. This one's already over. This 4th one's already oversaturated. Before my base got saturated at the natural. He's got 4 bases saturated. With gases, I got 1.5. With still trying to get some gas. Yeah, you gotta be careful. That's why it's hard to just run out the map and just go attack them, because you just are outnumbered in resources and stuff. If you're mech, you have to play it a little different. You have to play it more, you know, Sim City, right? You have to slowly take your bases. The objective is they don't want you to take bases. You have to take bases, but defend. Hold your ground, you know, because the better you are trading against them, the better it is that you're wasting a lot of the resources that they're able to gather that's out of your range, you know. So this is mech. If you're bio is pretty good because the medevacs are early, the marines are early, and they can go over here and take a base out real quick and then pick up and leave. Zergs are vulnerable with the fact that they can't shoot up in the air until they get hydras. So bio is really good to take out these hatcheries. If you're going mech, BCs can do it, but once you get BCs, there's corruptors, and corruptors counter BCs, so you got to have another thing on top of BCs if you are. But outside of that, you're gonna have to sacrifice some stuff to get here. Hellions with Hellbats are good. You get blue flame Hellions, come over here, turn them into Hellbats. They sometimes can kill the hatchery, but sometimes. So yeah, this Zerg is macroing, and that's the one thing I gotta prep for. How much are they macroing? How fast can I macro? What are the signs that they're doing what they're doing? So in this case, I'm gonna have to just keep an eye on the outside of Zerg bases. You know, I have to keep an eye on, like, are they taking the 4th already? And so I can identify. In this case, they're like taking the 5th. So I have to maybe read the outside bases a little bit better so I can see. Yeah. Yeah, so this is just taking my bases. So I gotta read on, you know, on that. Okay, there's not really much to see. I usually look for the timings on the mutas or the timing attacks. So that one we gotta, with our barracks, we gotta scout with our barracks, get a better identification. So that's what we'll do. We'll scan the centers, and then from there scan the sides with the barracks if they live. Okay, next one. Let's do another one. It's the same. No. Zerg. Looking more on Terran. Okay, this one. For us, I don't need that many workers that they need one probe to build, so save on mining time and the rest of the probes. Yeah, there is that, like, slight. They got chrono boost, and they got only one probe that has to build, so you don't have idled workers as much. Okay, the hatchery's done. Yeah, each race does have, like, its uniqueness in mining. You have to just make sure you gotta remember what your strengths are. Terrans have mules. Mules can kind of slightly balance the mineral side of the race. Protoss, of course, has one probe that could build everything, and chrono boost. Zergs have injects. could build many drones at a time. So yeah, you just gotta know what your strengths are. Okay, look at the tech. Hydra at 542. Okay. Same thing, five minutes. So the tech usually around 5 minutes. Again, this Zerg is actually building it at the main base, not at the natural. But if we're gonna scan, it's around 5-ish. And then they got Bailey nests. Bane, Hydra. You know, I was also thinking of making a PF right in the middle. You know, or maybe setting some PFs right in the middle. Maybe take this, you know, maybe when I take a third. I could go for landing a command, you know, just to hold the core of the map. Yeah, definitely more ravens. I gotta remember to get. You like how I go over the replay? Let's see. Ultras. Yeah, so we're at 15 minutes and they already got ultras at 15 minutes. So we gotta remember when the ultras kick in. And in this case, this one's already out at 15 minutes. So when I play, I have to remember my timer. I have to remember that at around this time I gotta start remembering, don't go cyclones anymore at this point. Now start going into Thors. So the best way I could do it is usually kind of like putting some type of like a marker. So I could easily say that I should, once I get to 4 bases, that's when I should already start getting Thors, or should already have Thors in my disposal, you know, because by that time the Thor, you know, if you have to start dealing with the ultras, they get pretty heavy, and you need Thors and libs for that. So I'm trying to get an idea of when to start getting my Thors, only because of how the Zergs have been doing, you know, their engagement. you have a really good in-depth way to look at it. Yeah. Well, just trying to hope I can kind of share how I like to look at my replays, because there's not enough videos on how to look at replays. You can look at a replay and still not really look at a replay. Not know what to look for, how to look for it. What are you seeing? What can you catch that can give you information that maybe when you play again, you have a little bit of sense of knowledge that you're like, this is normal, or this is expected, and this. So hopefully can I help people look at the replays a little bit in a different light. But yeah, look at these ultras. So 15 minutes. 15 minutes. And the best way probably is if we scan here. If we scan, so like around 14 minutes, if we scan and here he has a hive, that's going to be the potential tail. So if we need to think about, because the only thing that you would get the hive for is for broodlords or for ultras. So that being said, we're going to have to kind of keep an eye on, is it going to be ultras? Now, the good thing about ultras is it's usually ultras after ground play. So what they like to do is they like to get ground upgrades. They go ground, hydras, roaches, whatever it is, right? And because they're already getting upgrades for the ground, it makes sense for the ultras to come out because it's ground and they're already upgraded. So you got to remember that there's a good correlation to, if you're already facing ground, just the possibility of ultras kicking in is high. If not, you're gonna expect lurkers. It's gonna be either Hydra lurkers, or at the end game it's gonna be Hydra lurkers, and then a bunch of ultras to trade all the rest of their income. Bunch of ultras with some units. So that's something to think about. 15 minutes, 14 minutes. I should start scouting. I gotta start scouting the hive tech at around 14 minutes, just to identify, is it going to be this kind of, am I going to have to deal with ultras yet? If I see a layer tech still, I don't have to deal with ultras yet, or I won't have to look at broodlords yet. So that's something I have to tell myself when to scan the main base. And so I'm going to start having to scan around 15 minutes. So when I get a fourth base, I should already be scanning. When I get a fourth base, I should be scanning, and I'll take it from there, how well that goes. Have a good one, Miss Aries. Have a good one at work. But yeah, whole lot of Zerg. I didn't get Neo Steel armor. That was terrible. That would have held if I had Neo Steel armor. But I forgot Neo Steel armor. I was trying to use Marines. Trying to, mix them in there. Got tore up. Okay, so that one was ultras 15 minutes ish. 11 minutes. What happens there? At first, got a third at 2. Right here, they're looking for Hellions. They're seeing if you're gonna do a Hellion run by, because it's gonna, if you don't do Hellions, they're gonna be able to macro more, and that's something that you gotta decide on. Are you gonna try to like keep them from making more drones by showing them that you're gonna hit them real quick or bug them, because they're gonna need lings. But if you don't show them that, then you're pretty much telling them, okay, then I can drone up for a bit. You know, I got time to drone up. So there goes the Overlord. Lair attack at 5. Right here, I'm trying to do the bumps. I'm trying to use trying to be a little more aggressive to keep them from droning too much. But you know, they do have this space. I gotta keep an eye on their fourth. Oh. Would spare Reapers be able to bounce save the tanks that are sieged from Ravager Biles? I don't think the tank siege bumps them. I think they have to be unsieged to not be bumped, but I'm not sure. I can't remember if I ever accidentally bumped the tank sieged. I know unsieged, yeah. But that's if they even bump far enough. It's I don't even know. I don't know if that's a thing. Siege tanks sieged getting bumped. Okay. Brood Lords at what time? And then of course see the text in the back. So I gotta snipe tech. Try to snipe tech. That's what I gotta probably do. Attack somewhere and then teleport over there to lose some BCs, but snipe some tech out. That'll slow down the their attacks. Well, I wish we could be like Maru. Yeah, he's good. Maru's hella good Terran. Okay, let's see. So what we could do is get BCs, right? Use BCs to snipe the outside bases, maybe a little bit of creep here and there, and then later teleport over to his main base to snipe his tech. You know, hit him on one area, and then go over and snipe his tech. Some, you know, whether it be his investors or blue lords. Hydra's dead. It would be as a sacrifice because there's no way going back home after that. But if you take the tech out, it does slow them down. Snipe tech, meaning that if I'm getting BCs, right? Let's say I go my normal build, but I get 1 BC, and then another, you know, I get 2 BCs. I'll start going around with my BCs and start killing creep. Try to deny the base that's outside. If they try to take a fourth, go over to the outside areas and then deny it, or try to deny it, right? And then come back, run around, kill some creep, get 3 BCs. Eventually I get 4 BCs, right? With Yamatos. And then eventually I get 5 BCs. Somewhere around the 4 or 5 BCs, I'll be able to do some type of like maybe Hellion Cyclone rush to a base, hit him somewhere. He goes with his army to deny it, or you know, take out my base, my army, and then with the BCs, I teleport over to the main base where he has his tech and start Yamatoing his tech. Like take out the infestor pit, take out the hive tech if it's a hive tech, take out the layer tech if it's a layer tech, you know, and take out the you know, if it's a spire, take out the spire, whatever, all the tech that I can do, just kill it all at one time. Just go straight for the tech, snipe it, you know, tech snipe. Because most of the time the tech's all together in an area where if you go over there with BCs, you'll be able to maybe take out 3 of the tech. Especially with Yamatos. With Yamato, you might be able to take 4 of the tech. Especially if he's on the other side of town. So, that's what I mean. That's what I mean, it's a sacrifice. You either sacrifice Hellions, maybe it's just Hellions that you send out, and he goes over there. Or maybe he's by your side, and you already know he's by your side, and he just kind of poked at you, and you're like, okay, you're way over here, boom, quick teleport. Because the objective for me would be, how do I slow down his Brood Lords? How do I slow down his Ultralists? How do I slow down his tech in general, you know? Hit more fungals. How do I slow down more fungals? So I have to get in a habit of knowing what time layer tech kicks in, what time hives kick in on average, so that I know when my BCs need to teleport, or I scan and do it through scans and see if I need to teleport, you know. But the objective would be trade the BCs, but don't trade them for a base, trade them for tech. Usually I go and trade them for a base. But in general, if you do take out their tech, then we're not going to have to deal as much with their Broodlords so early. And if we can delay the Broodlords, we could take another base a little bit longer. If we take another base a little longer, we get enough gas to make more impact, right? So that's where my mind is going. Do you like to plan for BCs against the Brood Lord? No. Well, the Corruptors are expected. Their Corruptors are expected, and Brood Lords are expected, because Corruptors make Brood Lords. They turn them into Brood Lords. So when you go for BCs, you start off with the BCs to kill off the outside bases, or nibble their bases. Eventually you're going to trade, right? And eventually you're going to just say, okay, now there's too many Corruptors. I'm going to lose my BCs anyways. So you trade them to tech, kill their tech. but you're expecting a lot of corruptors because most Zergs usually end up going Broodlords. So you're gonna expect Spire, then a little bit of corruptors with their army, and then all of a sudden they turn them into Broodlords with their Hydras and fungal, their infestors. So it gets I guess what I want to do is deny the timing of what they're usually getting their Broodlords, so I can get more time to macro. And I usually have a lot of money. I usually have a lot of gas and a lot of money. That's the reason why I'm able to say I could sacrifice. You know, the question is, what do you sacrifice, right? What can you sacrifice that it's worth it? And so, yeah, coming to slow down their higher tech is more important than taking out a base. Sometimes they have so many bases. What's one base difference? What really should hurt is their organs. Wouldn't they be responsive as well? Yeah, of course. Of course they'll be responsive. You think 5 BCs is all I'll have? So when I go with the BCs, that's just about 5 BCs. You got an army in your base. The BCs they're gonna eventually go to their side of the map, right? Because the BCs are over there. They're gonna first go to their side of the map to deal with the BCs. And then once they deal with the BCs, they're going to come at you. Now, if they come at you at the same time when you have BCs over there, well, it's only 5 BCs. You're taking out their tech. And I have planetary fortresses everywhere. I have tanks everywhere. You know, I get PS. It's not easy to just come and raid me. You know, I want you to raid me. I expect the raid when I go over and take the tech out. I expect my BCs to be traded, though. I expect those to not come back. You get me? I'm expecting the BCs to be I'm trading them, but for a good cause. They're gonna be gone for the equation, but I have my Thors, I have my tanks here getting ready for the transition. Usually I'm getting ready with my Thors for the transition for Broodlords. This will give me a little more time if I do it right. Wouldn't it slow down by only 2 minutes and make you even because you made BCs instead of a good army? I don't know if you saw the last replay. Zergs have like 5 bases when I'm barely on 2 bases. When I get to 3 bases, they have half the map. What is a good army? What is a good army? Is there a perfect army? Is there just some perfect army that I don't know about? That's the magical army? You just said they will counter you. Yeah, I didn't say counter, but they're gonna attack me. They're gonna counter attack. They're gonna attack me when I hit them with the BCs. They're most likely gonna go over to the BCs with the and then they're gonna come at me. But most of the time, if they do come at me, I'm still gonna expect them to come at me. I mean, how do you send BCs over to their side and not expect rebellion? There's gonna be some rebellion. There's gonna be you expect it. You tease them, you wait for them to punch you, and then you defend the punch, and then you go for your attack. But but if you have like a perfect army that I don't know about, you let me know, and then we'll test it out versus these Zergs. No, he hope to kill the tech, which is most of the time unlikely, no, or at least not for a responsible price. Well, I have to trade my BCs. You gotta realize that I gotta trade the BCs eventually. My thing is, I have to find out when's the best time to trade them and how to trade them. Right now, I'm deciding that when I do trade them from here on out, I'm gonna be trading them for their tech. Is it gonna be slowing them down for 2 minutes? It really depends. if I'm over there taking out their hive tech, or if I took out their layer tech, and then I took out their pool, or if I took out their pool and then their layer tech, they can't just make their, and then I take out one of the main important things, which is either a spire or a hydralisk den. They're back in the Stone Age if I kill their pool and then their layer tech. You know that? If I come in, I blink real quick, and I just model the pool, and then I go and take out the layer tech, they're not going to be able to make another layer tech until they make a pool. So if I take their layer tech and then I still have time to take out the hydralisk den, you think it's just going to be 1 minute that they're delayed on? It's way more than a minute or two that they're going to be delayed if you take out the right stuff at the right time. Take out the pool first, take out the hive tech or the layer tech in this case because it's 5 BCs, and you're sending them back to the Stone Age. You're even slowing them down on their upgrades. But yeah, but they're just tactics. So they're just ideas and tactics. It just depends on, can they work well with your build? Can those tactics, can they be fluid with your build? Taking a hive, taking a lot of time. If you manage to do that and getting away, I ain't saying getting away. I said they're sacrificed. I said we're sacrificing the BCs. We ain't going anywhere. We're gonna go over there, take out the pool, take out the layer tech, and whatever else we're gonna take before we die. Remember, we got Yamato. Yamato will take out one building, maybe even 2 buildings, quickly. Yamato 3, I got 5 BCs at Yamato 3 on a pool. It's dead. 2 more for something else like a hatchery. Now he could kill it really quick, and then go for 1 more tech, maybe 2 if he still hasn't been there quick enough, because they're on the other side of the map. You get me? And I'm not expecting to save the BCs. I'm expecting to lose the BCs and then keep making more Thors in the back end. You know what I mean? But they're not supposed to live. They're supposed to go and do as much. They're supposed to go in there and tear it up as much as possible. Sacrifice, because they did their damage. At least expected they should be doing their damage, going around and denying bases and killing creep off, and forcing out corruptors, and things like, when you do enough of that, you top it off with the maximum potential, which is slowing down their tech. Because I gotta deal with broods. I have to deal with brood lords. I have to deal with ultralists, brood lords, vipers. You know what I mean? I have to deal with that, so I gotta come up with other ways to try to slow them down. It just makes sense. It just makes sense to try to go, okay, well, if I want to deal with them, I either do it head on, or I delay them. And in this case, I want to delay so I can get more bases. Even if it's enough time to get another base and situate for gases, it's worth it. At least for me, it is. If I drink half a gallon of orange juice, do you think that's enough vitamin C to send like the flu guy for the what? I don't know. You know what? There's this one guy. Back in the days, we had like Got Milk commercials where the kid would drink milk, and next thing you know, it says Got Milk, and the guy's all big. I had some guy that wanted to fight me, and he said I drank a lot of milk. I knew exactly what commercial he got delusioned off of, and then I had to beat his ass. So I don't know. I don't know if you drink enough orange juice, if that's gonna help. Just don't eat a lot of vitamin gummy bears, that's for sure. Most likely case is gonna be acid reflux. Remember those two? Got milk. Yeah, well, he believed it, and he came over at me, and I was like, no. Poor guy. Oh man. Zerg is unpredictable. The HOTS intro is all about Kerrigan growing a swarm in the control environment and breaking that confinement. Yep. You never know what they're gonna do. They can switch on a dime. Well, I just always assume there's all walks of ranks in my chat, so you know it's always a good question. It's just hard for me to share what I'm thinking, so I always have to do it, and then you can go, okay, that I can see that, but it's kind of hard to like say this is what I'm thinking, just paint a picture. But yeah, I'll try to share it when I do it, and then it'll be easier to, you know, kind of get a grasp of what I'm trying to say. So my thing would be, when are they getting their techs? When are they getting their hives? So around 5-ish, 6 minutes, they're getting their layer tech. 5-ish minutes, they're getting their layer tech. This one's getting their hive at 6 minutes, 6-ish. So that's, you know, that's a sign right there. So if I'm getting better at my Terran, I can go back and go, okay, by the time I'm getting my my third. Now look at this. One base, 2 base, 3 base, 4 base, you know, the 5 bases plus these bases and all the tech. I'm on 2 base. You know, if I take a third, one style of Zerg can break your third so quickly. It's kind of like hard to tell which ones are which, so that you could take your third quicker, or which ones you have to worry about not taking a third quicker. It's complicated. You gotta learn how to sim city if you're Terran, because look at this. And all I got is 3 BC, 3 Thors. As a Terran, how annoyed are you as Creep Spread? It's not annoying. We have scans. We can scan. So the objective would be how to stop the creep, how to slow it down. That's the part. That's it. The interesting part. How to slow it down. Which ways do you want to slow it down? You know. But no, it's more of a challenge than an annoyance. So right now I'm trying to, so you can see I'm doing like Thor drops right here. I gotta do I don't know why, I don't know what I picked up, a Marine. And then I gotta, you know what I gotta do is Thor drop and then put a Widow Mine or something underneath it. Or maybe build something. And take bases. And then I gotta watch out for this right here. The fog. I gotta get Broodlords. But yeah, Broodlords. So let's see. Let's go back. Mm-mm-mm. 8 minutes. So let's see. Okay. It's around 7 minutes. I gotta go and send the BCs over here. So I'll do like a BC intro, and then eventually go over here. See how close they are? You could take out 3 techs. You could take this one out. Question is, do I want to wait until they get hive? I have to see how many BCs I get so I can know. 7 minutes. 6 minutes. 7 minutes. I think it's the same person. There's another one. Isn't this game about trading better? Yeah. Oscar, what rank are you? Are you learning the game from the start? Are you like a true beginner? Are you still, did you just get introduced to StarCraft? It's a really good game. Complicated game. Yeah. Yeah. One of the things you want to do, of course, is be conservative in your play and don't lose as much as you should, and things like that. You just got to figure out how. That's the hard part about StarCraft. It's how to get those results, and you have to just try different things. Watch some local videos about the stuff. Yeah, Loco does a lot of good cast. He casts a lot of good stuff. He's very informative. So, you have to figure out how to solve. It's like a puzzle game. It's literally a puzzle game. I have this Zerg that does certain things. They all kind of do certain things, but I have to figure out how to break it. What buildings can I do to slow them down? What buildings can I do to stop them from growing or reacting to certain things? I have to figure it out, but at the same time you have to grow. At the same time you have to make sure when you attack you don't lose your army bad. You have to play all of that in StarCraft in one game. The hard part is doing it all right. It takes time to do it right, and it takes a while to sometimes get it. Sometimes you just don't get it. You have to do it over and over again until you finally go, oh, you know what, I finally got an idea. Maybe I don't just go in with Marines. Maybe I need medevacs with the Marines. Maybe I need some stims so I can run away from the Bailings. Eventually something will kick in, but you gotta throw a lot of stuff on the wall, see what sticks. Yeah, so this is Zerg's going 3 bases, and then right now I'm looking at the layer tech. This is like the most thing. I'm looking at all the Zergs, and I'm kind of seeing when is the layer tech. I've noticed that layer tech's usually around 5 something to about 5 minutes ish. Around 5 minutes there should be a layer tech typically, and around 6 ish, before 7 minutes, a hive tech for some. So I'm assuming a hive tech might kick in around 7 minutes for this player. Let's find out. After that I'll start seeing a pattern of time, and then from there, when I play, I'll be able to keep that in mind. I'll keep those timers in mind in my head. 7 minutes, 6 minutes, 5 minutes ish layer tech, 7 minutes. So by no later than 8 minutes I should be scanning to see if he's going for a Broodlords. Look at that. See? Look at that. He's already going for Broodlords. Look at that. He's already got hive hive at 7 minutes, remember? So if they're going for that tech, I gotta figure out what can I do to slow that down, because they obviously want it. And I have to figure out when to scout it. So at least now I know. I have a marker. Around 7 minutes is the time that most people would go get hive to get broodlords. So because I can't stop him attacking. I can't attack. If I attack him, he's gonna surround me with a bunch of units, and it could be a range of units. So I have to figure out other ways to attack him. That's why BCs, I can harass with BCs for a little bit, maybe the outside parts of Zerg, and then eventually just dive in. Or I can hide my BCs until I get enough units, blink over there at a certain time, kill off what I want to kill off while I go take a base or two. While he's just worried about his base being attacked early, I could land my bases and PF rush, PF them, things like that. So right now, this is how you start thinking of ideas, and so when you go back, you're like, okay, at least I have some form of strategies I want to try out. That's a lot of mutas. That is a whole lot of mutas. Oh, I think he came all at once, right? With the mutas. Boom! We have the ultras there. Ultras, see? 16. In this case, it's ultras and not broodlords. Well, actually, the broodlords are coming. It's ultras first. Where's the ultra list then? It's over here. Sitting on in the other base. Maybe he wants to show mutas, but then not the ultras. So I was thinking at some point I gotta scan twice eventually. if I tried, yeah. I don't know what he was. It's crazy. Why is nobody using Goliath? Oh, I know Goliath. Goliath online. If you do it right when your hive pops up and you morph the spire at 7-ish. From Russian Brew Lords at 7-minute mark. So feel like you're rating time range if you do it right when you're... Yeah, well, that's why you look at different Zergs and different builds to see which ones are doing similar things. You know what time is an average time, and then from there you can move the goalpost wherever you need to move it. If you see somebody doing it even quicker and you're like, shoot, I need to adjust for that timing, let me just figure out if I can smooth myself a little bit quicker on whatever I'd have to do to deny the mutas, because it's like you can deny it, but then they hit you in a weird spot where you're like, shoot, if I would have known, I would have been able to defend it better and been at a better spot, but sometimes they hit you with surprise. So I'm getting a better idea of when they're doing their layer techs. Hey guys, do you get out from the replay? If it is, how do you get out? You hit F10. You hit F10, and then you can get out. I know. They're like, escape. Escape is to cancel things. Yeah, escape is to cancel. Oh, you're in this screen, huh? You're not in the other screen. That's why you went into the. You're like, wait, hold on. Usually there's like a menu. Where's the menu? And you're hitting escape. You're like, what the hell? I'm stuck in here. Yeah, F10. That's from StarCraft 1 back in the days. F10. Okay. Oh man. Okay. What up, Alan? How you doing? Yeah, Hayden. Well, he didn't want to fight the Thors, but he had no choice because I didn't want to give him a choice. I said, I'm going to go over there towards you because you have mutas and you want me to hang out on my side because the mutas want to distract you and keep you at bay. That's what the mutas are for. They'll nibble on you a little bit, but they're pretty much saying, hey, stay in your side. I'm going to go hit you on the back. You got to go to the back too. Now you got to go to the front. I'll hit you in the front. Now you got to go to the front. You're just, they want you to just go back and forth in your base and just stay there. Don't go to my side. Stay on your side. So sometimes you can just go, you know what? Forget my natural. I'm going to just go hit you on your side. And then they got to go back. If they don't get back, they're going to get hurt. So, sometimes you got to call bluff. And sometimes you got to just take a hit so you can give a hit. Yeah. You're eating an apple? Shoot, I still gotta eat something. I'm still lightheaded. I gotta eat breakfast. Okay, if we look at their side, layer tech, no hive tech yet. and it's 7 minutes. So that's another type of Zerg play. This is, you know, I don't know what's the goal. Oh, Hydras. It was gonna be Hydra play. Oh yeah, I remember right here. I thought this was a PF. I was like, wait, that's not a PF. I thought the PF was shooting the Hydras. Okay, so this one's 7 minutes. Alert attack. Can't live on just water. No, you can't. Not for too long. You know, need some stuff. Oh man. Some serious. But yeah, I gotta eat something. Speaking of, I'll eat some food and then I'll be right back for about 3 weeks. That's how much as you can live. Start eating some dirt. Maybe you might get some nutrition out of that. Dirt and water. Alright. I'll be back. Gonna eat something. I'll see you guys soon, okay? I'll be back. Peace. I'll catch you up. Anakin, Alan, with a Team Green, Oscar, Tony. I'll be back soon. Give me about a like.